Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Udwe Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. I am with the beautiful, fantastic Bobbie Roberta. Bobbie Roberta, I've been traveling, and I've really enjoyed it.
I know. And I love to hear your stories. But Ujaniambia about this last trip you were on.
I went to the fjords in Bergen, Norway. I went to Hamar, Norway. I went to Lillehammer. I went to the famous place where they did the Olympics in 1994, one of the coldest places. Then I went visiting a place, the way Norwegian used to live in poverty in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. So those guys were so poor. And then they struck oil in 1930s. Hapo the beginning.
Mambo ikabadilika.
And they just decided, fuck, tumesumbuka, we are going to make good use of this money. And even the people that had run away from Norway were called back to come. And the folks, we got something.
Yeah, iwezi fanyika Kenya.
And now, when you give birth to a child, they take care of the child for I think 6 months. They give you money to buy naan, they give you money for clothes, they give you money for shopping.
Wow.
Yeah. And there is a lump sum they give you when the baby's poop.
Incentive ya
Yes.
watu
And then by law, you have to be given 1 year likizo.
maternity.
Yes. And then the man is also given. Like my sister's husband was given 1 year, 4 months. You know? And
Wow.
their roads are amazing.
Wow.
Everything.
It seems like a dream.
It's a dream.
Yeah.
That's why it's very difficult to go there. Their visa is very stringent. Yeah. They gave me 15 days and that was it.
Do ukarudi.
Yeah.
But you really enjoyed. Tell me, let me ask. How does travel impact your life? How does it change you? How does it help or take away from
For
you?
me, you know, that story actually really starts from me being in the village. When I was in the village, our lives as Lu people have been very much political, as you know.
Yes.
So even when we were in the village, we used to be told stories of how Raila, of how Jaramogi Oginga Odinga helped Kenyatta ascend to presidency, and then he was betrayed. There are so many things that we were told. And because we lived in the village, actually one of the things, and I think I've said it on this podcast, is that there is a particular tribe, the Kikuyu tribe, that we were told to extensively hate. You know? Like if you're going to shake hands with a Kikuyu man, you better count your fingers when you withdraw your hands from him. You see? But then when I came to Nairobi, all that changed. Because now I started having friends who are Kikuyus and friends who are not. Like, we knew that Kalenjins were sort of just animals that were out to harm everybody. Because Moi had basically put them in the police. They're the guys that used to come to our village and destroy the Changadins. You know, they're the ones that were manning the postal office. They were everywhere. So basically, those people were seen as enemies. So when I came to Nairobi, that changed, because when I could not afford school fees, it's a Kalenjin person that helped me write a letter to the school, and I was given sponsorship for my entire education.
Wow.
And then came the Kikuyu. I was one of the Kikuyus that helped me. One guy that gave me a loan of 80,000 to go and do my book, my first book. And his organization actually welcomed me and took care of me for free. And then when my books came out, the large number of people that bought my books were Kikuyus. Now that is what traveling has done to me, even within the country. And then I start going out and seeing the world. And what traveling has done for me is to break my fears of the possibilities that I can have. Once you start getting into planes and having that fear of flying, and then dropping in a country that's completely strange, and then meeting border officers that are very harassing in nature, and then you start meeting people. You know, when I was in Norway, I went to farms. There are guys that just live in farms, and then they grow barley, they grow wheat, they grow all these things, and they just live very simple, very nice life. And that has just opened my eyes. And a lot of people, when they see me travel, they sort of think that it is very expensive to travel. It's, you know, Kitambo, you had to stay in hotels. where you pay 20,000 per night. But these days there are Airbnbs.
Yeah.
You can maneuver. You see, you can even sleep in a bus. If you are, for example, you are in Sweden, you are in Sweden, right? And you can be in Sweden, and be in the capital of Sweden for the whole day, and then take the Flixbus to Copenhagen and sleep in Copenhagen, because it's just
It's near.
It is just 4 hours drive, or just about 6 hours drive, and then sleep in Copenhagen. You can leave Copenhagen and then travel all the way to Netherlands, and stay in Netherlands. The capital of Netherlands is called what? Holland. What? I've forgotten. But you can be there, sightsee in the morning, in the evening. Take a
You're
bus.
somewhere else.
Take a bus to Berlin, Germany. Anyway, I have a present that I brought you from.
Really?
Yeah, it's a small one.
My goodness.
Iko hapo juu.
That's so thoughtful.
Yeah, I brought you something for your face.
Wow.
See, iko hapa juu tu, juu hapa juu. Hizi vitu mbili naona hapa. Hizi are white. Hapo kwa white na hiyo kitu. Yeah. Hiyo tu. Yes, I brought you this.
Oh.
I brought you this for your face.
Thank you.
That is, and then I brought you, I don't know what this thing, my
water.
sister told me that it's very good for your face.
For taking off the makeup.
Yeah, and then I brought you a bottle for your something to drink.
This is so kind and so sweet.
You know, you're one of my friends who have been very supportive of my channel.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So that is how how are you? How is your sex life?
Non-existent for a while. But you know that. I've told you. I've not been having sex this year.
There are a lot of women that are not having sex. Wakuna kutu sana. Wasichana wakuna kutu sana.
Tuko wengi sana.
Yeah, ni ujeuri yenu.
Ujeuri aje sasa?
Ni ujeuri yenu. Men are there all over the place. And the reason why you guys are not having sex, I wouldn't understand. Ni ujeuri yenu. There is anyway, what's your reason?
Thank you for asking me, because I'm a woman. Thank you.
How is the bread?
I love it. It's very sweet. They have this they have a chili and a sweet thing going on. It's very yummy. So, wait, sorry, what did you just ask me?
Yeah, why mbona uko na kutu?
Sina kutu. Lakini. But I am not actively having sex. And also, it's not really an intentional decision. If sex were there, like if I had someone to have sex with, I probably would be having sex. So it's just it's like an intentional celibacy. Nasimi peke yangu.
An intentional celibacy.
Yes. Nasimi peke yangu.
Is your nini on?
My mic?
It's recording, yes. Good.
Oh, okay. Umepanic.
Pole
Na tuko wengi. It's a lot of women who are not actively having sex. And you said ni ujeuri wetu.
Yes.
Men are there, but quality men, are there quality?
You mean quality in having sex or quality in relationship?
Quality, the whole entirety of it. Because for you to have wholesome, secure relationships with other people, you have to be wholesome and secure yourself. So someone like me who's actively, consistently working on myself, my relationships, my health, my happiness, I have to have quality sex. It has to match the kind of life I want. So I can't be this person who's talking, preaching, and then I'm having trash sex. It doesn't make sense.
What is trash sex? What is quality sex to you? Is it like ile ya wewe kulia sana?
I'd say quality sex for me, in my own definition, is sex that satisfies me, that leaves me satisfied, leaves me confident, leaves me happy, yearning for more, leaves me, excited. So I'd say for me to have that kind of sex, it requires somebody who's on the same level mentally, emotionally, financially, just a wholesome, secure person. In short, I would like to have sex with someone who is very mature, very grown up, very considerate, respectful, kind, because ultimately it reflects in the kind of sex we have. If someone cares for me as a friend, loves me, treats me really, really well, it translates in the kind of sex we have. If someone doesn't talk to me, doesn't care about me, doesn't try to see me, doesn't care if I woke up or I didn't wake up, doesn't care if how will I get wet?
And getting wet is a very important part of it.
It is everything.
What exactly is getting wet, by the way? Don't ask me if I have a wife, but I'm just some.
This is interesting.
Yeah. You mean the fluids?
So getting wet. So there's during sexual stimulation.
Yeah.
There's two types of fluid that are released from the woman's body. There's three. There's the ejaculation fluid, which is like let me give you an example. So the ejaculation fluid is if you compare it to men, it's the nut, semen. In women, it's also milky white. It comes out when you nut, and most women do not know that they produce this or that this happens because maybe we don't talk about it enough, or maybe you've never seen it because it can mix with squatting, or it can mix with the lubricant. So the other fluid is the lubrication, which comes out immediately you're turned on. This helps reduce the friction during intercourse, during penetration. So hii ni kama the men also have that lubricant. Ile ukiguswa kidogo head inaanza kukua wet. That's what we call wetness, the lubrication.
So you think the lubricant that comes from the man and the lubricant that comes from the woman, they all come together?
Well, vile nyinyi mna release pia sisi tuna release. It all helps during the intercourse just to reduce the friction.
I guess that's why people like the sex without condom, because the lubrication is maximum. Because and it's all natural and organic.
Yes. I guess the natural way is
when things are confined inside the condom, then you see.
Well, I'm a very huge advocate for condoms because most people are having multiple sexual partners. But then I could agree with you that if you're in a secure, safe relationship, then of course rondo inabamba. And so this leads to the other question that I've always had, because then if women are not having sex with the men, then I hear there is a lot of discreet packages that land on women's doors, wrapped like something else.
But inside there is something that looks like a banana, something that looks or a rose.
So
you told me that a lot of women are, turning to sex toys. But you see, now the problem that I'm having with that is that if you are saying that there is no emotional connection with the man, and that is why women are not having sex, then the question then is, where do you get the emotions when you are having sex with sex toys?
That's a very good question. Because you see, we cannot liken human beings to toys. Human beings have emotional intelligence. They are smarter than an object. So the things I require from a man are not the things I require from a toy. There's a very huge difference. And why would I want a man who's not able to be emotionally mature in a relationship then becomes a liability? A toy is just a toy. I can throw it away.
How does a man become a liability?
Because when you don't have, you see, there's this thing, and we wanted to talk about attachment styles. So
yes.
I guess it's
which we will talk about. Yes.
Into it. So the thing is, we grow up very differently as human beings, and as tukizaliwa and as we keep growing, we attach differently to our primary caregivers. And this is where the attachment styles come in. So how you attach to your primary caregiver translates into how you will keep attaching to everything else in life, to your job, to your friends, to your lovers, to your work, to your clothes, to anything you do. It reflects. And if you're somebody who is not emotionally available, then it becomes very difficult for you to uphold relationships, to uphold work, to uphold friendships, to even uphold a sexual relationship. Because if you do not care about another human being that you're sleeping with, then there's something fundamentally different. I don't want to say wrong, because we're all different. Just because you attach a certain way doesn't mean like there's something. Of course, primarily there could be something wrong with you, but it doesn't mean that you don't deserve love or you're incapable of love. It just means you need to get to a point where you're willing to have awareness so that you can grow, and then sex becomes more satisfying and more fulfilling when you're able to show up available in your relationships. And men might argue, I say men because most men have been socialized to just think the job is to provide, to protect, to serve the family in how they show up with, like, providence mostly. Most men are not socialized to be emotional, like to come and talk about your feelings and cry and tell me how you're feeling. But us women are trying
it's very hard to keep crying.
Yeah. But us women are trying to tell you guys, and I use women. I'm using women, men, because I'm a woman who dates men. So this is my experience. It could be interchangeable. It could be the women who are emotionally unavailable. I'm not saying it's a manly trait to be unavailable. I'm just speaking generally. So the way it fits you, fix it in your own personal relationship, the way it appeals to you. So us women are saying, we want you men to be able, hatusemi mulie kila saa, ama mulie kila saa, mulie juu ya kila kitu. But we would love for you guys to hold space for emotions so that you can understand us better. Because, okay, yes, you've bought me a car, I'm in a nice house, we travel all the time, the kids are in nice schools. But I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how you feel. I don't know about the pressures you're going through. Do you see how it can affect our sexual relationship?
I think when you ask men to be emotional, they are very lost in that. Most of it is lost in translation, because most of the time as men we really don't know how to. Because when you talk about socialization, that socialization is pretty much deep. Yes. The other day I was talking to someone who was very frustrated with the dating. And she's a woman that has got everything going on for her. She used to be broke. She's no longer broke. She never had a good job. She has got a very good job. She never used to have a good house. She has got a very, very good house. And now she finds that every time she approaches men, she doesn't see value in men. And that sometimes appears to me like, as a man, it's you become immediately of value when your value is very much attached to materialism, the things that you can give and how much you can spoil a woman. And to be, most of the time, spoiling a woman that has everything going on for her is very difficult and is very problematic, because if the way dating used to happen is that it was a power play, basically. The man has a job, you see, he earns the 150,000, the woman has nothing. So he sends you an Uber, picks you up, gives you a flower, buy you a phone, buy you all these things, takes you want a hairdo, they send you the money, you want this, they do it for you.
Yeah.
And then and it created an environment of sort of a beck and call. You see?
Like there's an exchange.
Yes, a beck and call. So it's if Roberta is having her car, is flashing her own car key, she has her money, she has everything, she can take care of her whole life, basically. I can't just call you, unaweza kuja home. Ukuji. But if you know that your rent is due, na nikuambie ukuje home, unafanya nini? Unakuja. Kwa sababu ukicheza, you might be thrown out by the landlord. So there was that power play. The other day, I hope this is not going to come out. I hope she doesn't listen to this.
In the ubaya kuko friends na podcasters.
I
have a friend.
It's gonna. But I don't think it is so.
It's okay.
My God! I don't think
you can say the story, and then you can ask them for consent later while you're editing. You akikubali sawa, akikata sawa.
So now I connect them, and the guy says that I want to send your ticket to fly to where I am, and she's like, "No, you come."
I would say the same thing.
And then Then the guy say, "Okay, then let's meet in Paris."
Halfway.
No, you come. Sini mimi unanitaka. But the rest of the story, I've got very strong opinion about that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, see, disclose too much.
Yes. So I think that is what is going on. I'm checking you, you're checking me, and then when men suddenly realizes that they do not own that power, everything else falls apart.
Yes.
My friends who have not so much going on for them, who are men, actually have developed such timidity towards dating. Because they are always, Rick's call it anxiety.
Yeah.
You're always anxious of, where are we going for lunch? It's going to be. So yesterday, my wife took me somewhere out. It's a very expensive place, to celebrate my birthday, which was on the 7th. And when it's the place called Harvest at Gigiri. That hotel is called what? It's called, I don't know the name of the tribe. The tribe.
The tribe.
Yes,
Yes.
That's where Harvest is. And things are very expensive. Their salad goes for like 1,200. Salad. Really a starter.
Mama.
My friend.
Majani.
So at the end of the day, my wife paid more than 10,000. You see, that's really
For
terrible.
a single meal.
That's for men. A lot of men would be very difficult to. But you see now, a woman who has everything going on for her, Harvest is the kind of place that you want to take her. Roberta needs to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if we went with you to CJ's, Roberta, CJ's, hata CJ's peke yake, you're gonna chew 4,000 there. Na ujaadi ile milkshake ya wasichana.
Yeah.
Na ujaribu wine.
Una cross fingers hapa asiitishe second glass.
Sasa now the problem is that when the waiter comes and asks the woman, would you like some wine?
By the bottle or by the glass? Unaanza kuchemka kwa sababu bottle ni 15,000. Na rent yako ni 20. Unashangaa.
Sasa unalipa rent ama wine. Na wine ni one of the items. Chakula
bado amjakula. I totally get it.
So, so men suddenly, I think they are demasculated. Is that the word?
Emasculated.
Emasculated is the word, yeah? Meaning what?
Wanashushwa kiume.
Wanashushwa kiume.
Something. I hope it's correct.
You umepata huko Citizen. Because I don't think you know that why.
Najua Kiswahili.
Unaijua?
Nimebobea sana.
Umebobea? Now mimi that hapo turudi huko kwa kizungu. Umebobea? Bobea inamaanisha nini?
Nimeweza. Mimi ni mnoma.
Wewe ni mnoma kwa Kiswahili. Sawa. So those are the things that, but so you see now, getting back to sex toys. Now, how does that help the emotional part of it?
Kwanza, let me just say, I like that you explained the other side of men, the anxiety they get. Because most times, kitambo, when I was younger and I was dating guys who maybe didn't have money, even me, I didn't have money, maybe I was much more aware because I could see, anataka kunipeleka chikeni,
yes,
ana hiyo pesa, amesema anataka kunipeleka out.
Can you tell, sorry for cutting you short.
It's okay.
Can you always tell when a man is struggling?
Yes.
What are the signs? What do you see?
If you're this now the things I'm talking about, like if you are a very secure person, it means you're emotionally intelligent, which means you have empathy. Yes. Which means you're able to tell. The same way you can tell your friend Hana rent. It's just the same way. There's no difference. You can tell uchali tumeenda mahali kunywa soda, yeye anasema yako sawa. Na soda ni 45 bob. Lakini yeye anasema tu ako sawa. Mimi niko sawa buda, Mr. Kisoda. Round mumekaa hapo 3 hours kijana hataki kuitisha soda, lakini anaogopa kusema, "Bro, sina hiyo 50 bob." So you can always see, you can always tell. And within relationships, this kind of emotional intelligence is very important because it helps you have empathy for the next person. You're able to tell, vile umeniambia hapa ati, you know, I'm a bachelorette, unajua sijakula kwa nyoneza kwa ukaniitishia mkate na chai. It's a joke, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have breakfast before I came here. We were talking. I've been working since I woke up in the morning. So yeah. Haujaninunulia kwa sababu unajua sijakula.
Yeah.
Unanunua because it's courtesy. Because when you have a guest, you take care of them. Why? Why did you do it? It's not because I don't have my own money, I can't pay for this coffee. And I don't think you sat and thought, Roberta has her own money, she can buy the coffee for herself. Oh my God, what will I do? No, it doesn't matter what I have or I don't have. You extended your empathy and you took care of it. And you could as easily tell me, Bobbie, I know I normally buy you coffee, but today enyewe sina. Sina ya ukweli sina. Tutaka hivyo ama tutaduaje. You know, it's just about communication, empathy, caring about the other person enough to be able to even hear them when they're not speaking, to see them when they're not showing up. You could have a friend who's going through depression. Hajatokea the whole month. Mnamtafuta. Kuna ule beshte atasema, huyu msee anakuanga hivyo, atakangi kutokea. Na kuna ule beshte atasema, hashiki call zangu, so kenye ndadu natokea kwake. Wacha niende nimpate kwa nyumba nijue anafanya nini. Na kuna ule friend atakuja akupatia hapo kwa nyumba, hujaoga 3 days, haujakula, hauna pesa, haujalipa bills. Na si lazima akuongeleshe. Atakuja akusaidie kusafisha, akusaidie kuingia kwa bafu. Ateke akwambie sina pesa lakini wacha tushare. I always give that example ya skuma. Sina pesa lakini niko na so moja. Wacha ni buy unga ya 50 na hii skuma ya mbao tushare. Did they have to do it? No, it's just about empathy. Them being able to see you before you even say anything. So men now are feeling their worlds have been rocked because the women have their own things.
That is you have said it better than I would have said it in a million years.
Because
their worlds have been rocked.
Yeah.
And the tables are completely turned.
And you know why? Because they lack basic empathy. The women are not telling you, I want you to buy for me a house worth 50 million. Mm-hmm. The women are not now saying, I have my 50 million. Ni nini ingine unakuja kufanya kwa nyumba yangu? We're not asking you just to be providers in a financial way. We're asking you to be providers wholesomely. We're asking you to be protectors wholesomely. I want my man to protect me emotionally. He goes outside there, he hears people talking crap about me. Will you stand and listen to people talk about your wife in a wrong way and come and tell her, babe, nilikuwa hapa nikasikia kina nani wakisema, you'll shut it down. You'll shut it down because you're protecting her. Not just wezi wakikuja kwa nyumba, but also psychologically and emotionally. You're protecting her. You do not make her think about... Some of the other reasons I'm not having sex is because people are having too much casual sex. And I don't want to be part of the web. I'm really trying to protect myself. Staki STIs, staki HIV, staki HPV, staki sijui nini. So that means... I have to take extra care, meaning I have to know about my partner's sexual behaviors. I need to know about, are they sleeping with other people? Are they using condoms? Do I still want to sleep with him if he's sleeping with other people? Those are decisions I make for myself. Because I know if I have raw sex with this man, he doesn't call me the whole week. Aniongeleshi, leo ni Tuesday, leo ni Wednesday. Leo nikitoka hapa tuende tudishiane. Asini call, asini text, tena mpaka next Wednesday, akipata nyege, ani call. Niaje Bobbie, sijakuona this week. Sasa ndo anakumbuka kuni text back because now he's horny. You see, that man is not protecting me psychologically because now I'm overthinking. Where has he been the whole week? It's not that I want to be overprotective. I need to know everything about him. It's just, am I willing to have sex with somebody who I know nothing about? I don't know where he's been. I don't know if he's been with Mary, Shiko, Ambo, mpaka Wednesday, alafu mi siku yangu ni Thursday. I have no clue. So imagine the anxiety when I start itching down there, or my period is irregular because I had to take those pills because I had raw sex with him. All these things going on in my mind, it's just too much. I need a very safe relationship where I know this man. I know his sexual behaviors. I know where he's been, what he's doing. And it's not, haniambi kwa sababu ni ati namfuata. It's because we have mutual respect. The same way before I came here, I was able to communicate and tell you, I'm doing something. Can I get 10 extra minutes? So in your head, 10, 20 minutes tops. It relaxes your anxiety. Even if you're like, this girl is late. Where is she? She's always... It kind of gives you space to be like, oh, she's communicated. So it's cool.
But how, hypothetically speaking, and I think I'm going back to the issue of... because I see a lot of women struggling with relationship with women, with men because they are already having what some years ago would be only belonging to the man. And men are really having that timidity and anxiety getting into relationship with this lady, where you find a woman has everything going on, as I have said.
Yeah.
What would you tell if you were that woman and you like this boy, this man, let's call him, with nothing going on, but you are kind of falling in love? First of all, would you date a man that is economically weaker than you?
No.
Shit.
I wouldn't. That's a personal preference, and I can explain it.
Okay.
I'm not saying women... Okay, I'm not saying other women don't do it, because ultimately the decision lies within you.
Bobbie.
The decision is yours.
Bobbie, your honesty is exciting.
I have to be honest, because something I realized I like, and a lot of women like, is men who are better than them. Because it's not about... People like to equate it to materialistic things, or like your question, you'll always fall into, can you date a broke man? Can you date a poor man? But the thing is, for a man...
Mine is not really poor, though. Mine is just that you are...
Not like on my level.
Yeah, at your level financially or materially.
Yeah. And the reason I said I wouldn't is because it takes a certain kind of man to be at a certain level financially. So in the front, it looks like it's about money.
Yeah.
But in the back, it takes a certain level of discipline, hard work, integrity, empathy, intelligence. And maybe you could tell us if I'm right. It takes a certain kind of man to reach a certain place financially. That's if he's not a murderer or a thief. If he's just doing things by the book, he's doing things in a morally correct way. And maybe you can tell us from the village up to now, where you're able to travel to all these places, you have to have a certain type of patience, people skills, networking, wits to make money, confidence, friendship. All these things encompass who you are right now, right? So somebody who's broker than me, or like less financially equipped than I am, is probably not yet on that level. So I could be friends with them, where we're all learning, we're all growing, but I wouldn't date him, because I love to date men who are better than me. I love men who are richer than me, more stable than me, kinder than me, more respectful than me, more empathetic than me, because I look up to him. I look up to him for leadership, for protection, for providence. I look up to him. I'm supposed to be able to trust him, to go to him when I need solutions, to just someone who's better than me, so he can, lead me in a better way. Someone who's not quite there, nimemfundisha kila kitu. And Quite frankly, I don't think niko hapo side.
So then what I'm hearing from you is that when a man is a bit of not in your financial range, the fear that you're having is that there is something more to him being broke, more to him not having as much money. You have a feeling, you're fearing that it's a symptom of lack of discipline, lack of intelligence, lack of those other things.
Not lack of, ajafika tu kwangu. Ako nazo labda, lakini ajafika kwangu. Na mi sitaki mtu lazima nishinde nikimfunza, I do that for a living. That's how I make money. So now you want me to do it all the time again. I need a man who's better than me in all sorts of ways. So it's not, I would hate it for men to take it like it's something to undermine them. It's not, I'm not saying you're not worthy of love or you're not supposed to receive love and be in relationships. No, I'm saying, how about you work on these things before you think about a relationship? How about that? Because that's what I do for myself.
It could take long.
It could, but then it's all about your intention.
Now, I want to quickly move on, but still on the same thought.
Yeah.
And how hypothetically we could solve this situation.
Yeah.
Because right now, what we are having, especially in this city, are a lot of women who are doing well. And the kind of man that they are looking for is at the very top. You see? And they are honestly not many these days.
You think so?
No, because a lot of my friends who are women are doing well. My friends who are ladies are doing better than the men that are my friends. Even my single friends.
I hear you.
You get?
I see it a lot, actually.
We have this situation whereby we have all these women who are doing well, frustrated of men that can be better than them, that they can look up to and be proud of, like you said. Yeah. And then we don't find them. Do you think that, there's another person who told me that, Jakero, I used to have a list and I've knocked down so many things from this list. I hope that you're enjoying this program. Over the last 15 years, I have been working online for clients in America, in Europe, and all over the world. And that is why it pains me a lot when I see a lot of African brothers and sisters saying that they do not have a job. Now, this is the problem. A lot of people are trying to look for a job in 2024 in their own town, in their local area. Now, the truth is, there are no jobs in Africa, at least not so many jobs. The good news is that we have internet these days. We have a tablet, we have a computer, we have a phone. And that means that we can do a lot of jobs. And those jobs are online. That is why over the last 4 years, I've been writing a book that is called Digital Goldmine. It is a book that explains to you how you can earn money online. The 18 hustles that I've chosen are basically for Africans. Because what happens when you are doing online jobs is that payment is usually a problem. So these 18 side hustles that I have put together in this book, you can be paid very well and very conveniently. Okay, so the book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. That is about $10. You can buy it in Kenya using paybill number. You can buy it online from anywhere in the world using a credit or a debit card. All the information about this book is in the description below. And if you have a brother, you have a wife, you have a husband, you have a friend who is sitting at home and watching Netflix, please do buy this book for them. If you are the one sitting at home and watching Netflix and have nothing to do, please buy this book and your life is gonna change forever. Because I have been doing this online and I've been traveling and I've been enjoying myself and having a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and now back to program.
To be able to be in a relationship with a man.
Yes, but still bado nimeangusha vitu mingi kwa hiyo list. Do you think that perhaps you can reach a point where you say, okay, this is what I was thinking about, that I will get a man that I can look up to. My ovaries are giggling things miaka zinaenda. You see that's
the look on my face.
Yeah, msichana mrembo kama wewe.
Oh,
kitu gani na kufanya usiolewe elimu. You see?
Yeah.
Is it do you just stick to what you want and you believe? Because I'm not talking about you. You are young and still think that you have a lot of years ahead of you. That's fine. You are 20 what? 21, 23?
I look 23.
You're 25. 30.
I'm 28. Yeah.
We bado uko na ujeuri. Naona hiyo ujeuri yako. Lakini kuna madams
wameangusha ujeuri. Ndio wapate kakitu. A
crumb. Wako huko juu maze.
Yeah.
Yani miaka imeenda. And for me, I was just thinking that if you feel that miaka zimeenda sana and you really want this, I just feel that you can find a way. If you get a man that you get a photographer, fungua studio. Fungua studio. I think there is I have been in this business so much that I can always look at somebody and say that this guy, if I give them a camera, huyu jamaa atatoka hapa. Ataomoka. Huyu jamaa nikibuild na studio. You know, Betty the Builder. You remember that thing that they're saying, Betty the Builder? Do you think that men will finally fly away if you help them?
Do I think it's something we see all the time? Mimi estate naishi estate nilizaliwa, like nime grow up. Saizi nikiangalia nyumba zote zikifuatana, because most of us who were born there still live there. Okay, that's where my parents live, mi nilihama. Most households, the women are the breadwinners. Nikiangalia tu hiyo row yote, it's the women who are making money, but the men are bado ndo wanaonekana like the man of the house, you know? And you can tell these women are frustrated because they've been forced to move into their masculine energy. These men, I don't know what happened in their lives. Maybe they lost their jobs, things happened. But you see, with our mothers, even when they lose their jobs, they still show up. Like there's no day off. They'll still, atafungua stoli ya mboga aendelee. But the men, I don't know if it's pride or if it's what they... I don't know. I don't want to talk about the men because I'm not a man.
Up,
yeah.
You know?
And it has a lot to do with like their emotional, the space they're in, how they've been socialized as well. So women do it all the time. Women stick around. Women build their men. Even if you ask your friends, ama tu uchukue a random area and you ask questions, you'll find the lady takes care of the family, does most of the bulk of the work. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it pushes you into your masculine energy where hata utanza ku notice respect in a dwindle within the relationship. Utanza ku realize vitu aziko. I'm not saying these relationships don't work. There's women who are stay-at-home. There's men who are stay-at-home husbands. They take care of the kids while the woman is out making the money. But you see, these relationships need the discussion. We need to agree. Si ati tukue na dynamic flani alafu lose job yako. To discuss, wewe unakanga tu home, mimi ndo naendelea ku take care of the babies. I still do the whole bulk of everything. So women do stay. And in situations, I'm not going to say all, but we've seen a lot of situations where chali akiomoka, anajitoa, anaenda sana date his real type sasa. He's the hot girls who wear makeup, the nice hot girls who
Instagram babes.
The baddies, you know?
Sasa hii mambo ya sex toys.
Yeah.
So now tell me about it. It saves them a lot of trouble.
So the women, I think the women are saying, essentially place tumefika, we're saying we can do all these things on our own. We can take care of the family. We can pay for everything. What else do you have to offer into this relationship? Because you're not bringing in the money. And the men are confused because they've not been socialized to be emotional beings. They do not know how to show up emotionally. They act like robots in the relationship. I bring the money, I got. I bring the money, I got. And when now he's not bringing the money, now he's shocked. Like he doesn't know what else to do. But we're trying to tell you guys, being emotionally intelligent does not mean you cry all the time. It means you're able to show up for your family in different ways. It means you take an interest in the home. You care about me. And it translates in the way you care for us, the way you protect us, the way you provide for us. And I've told you, providence and protection is not just about money. It's wholesome. People have stories about how their dads have been to all their game practices, about how their dads hug them and love them and treat them so well. And majority of us, we can't relate. We don't have those stories about our dads. Tunaonanga tu kwa movie. Mimi nakumbuka nikiona kwa movie nilikuwa nashtuka ati watu wanakaa wote kwa table wanakula dinner. That happens? That's crazy. And you see, it affects your growth because you grow up knowing us, we never sit at the table eating all of us together. Then now you get into relationship. I get into a relationship with a man who requires me to talk to him. He wants me there to be present. But if I didn't grow up like that, how will I show up like that in my relationship? So you see, your lack of emotional availability inafanya mademo aseme, okay, mi sitaki mtu akuje kwa maisha yangu, halipi kitu, hafanyi kitu, ananitesa, haniongeleshi, na bado tunaendelea kudishiana. Inanisaidiaje? Hii rosto inaitumia tu for less than 5 minutes. I get my nut and I go on about my day. My emotions are intact. I have no anxiety about, will he text me back? Will he call me today? Does he care? Will he get me flowers? Will he talk to me? I've had a hard day. Can I call him? Is he reliable? If I can do everything for myself, including orgasming, then cool. Until a man comes along that has empathy, is kind, is respectful. The money, even the richness becomes a bonus because it helps him show his love through material things. But then even when a man is just able to show up for me very emotionally, like yesterday I was crying.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
What
I was
happened?
really I've been on my period imeisha, so I guess nizo ma post whatever feelings. I was feeling really low. I was feeling very overwhelmed and I was crying. And I was just wishing, I wish I could be in my man's arms for him to hold me. But then I go through my phone. All the men in my phone just want to sleep with me. Nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody wants to listen to me. So why would I call them? Why? They can't show me emotionally.
How do you know that a man wants to sleep with you? They send you nudes or what? What do they send
you can see it in the lack of interest in your life as a human being.
Okay.
They don't treat you like a human being. It's like you're an object of sex. The conversation finds a way to always jump into sex or sex-related stuff. And sometimes they don't even ever talk about sex, but they just have no interest in your life. Hajali umekuwa aje leo, hajali umetoka wapi, hajui anything about you, nothing. But they linger. They're just there they're hoping when you're horny enough, he can hit. That's how it is. Yeah. So ni kunyemelea. So that's why women are saying...
Kunyemelea.
Yeah. The women are saying, the thing...
The women are saying
the casual sex jumped into... These things they're calling situationships where, there's no strings attached. There's no emotional connection. We don't have to have a relationship going on. It's just sex. That's what is happening right now. Most people are in this situationship things. But then the women are starting to realize there's really no benefit. There's no benefit. The benefit is sex, because hata hiyo cuddling after sex hakuna. Mkimaliza unaambiwa nimeita Uber yako iko hapo nje. Hivyo venye alikwambia ati I'm calling an Uber, I've called for you an Uber babe to come and get you. Mkimalizana anakuambia Uber yako iko hapo nje.
Na kuna gari na kudrive.
Ana kudrop aje na yasha nat. Si yasha nat ashajibamba. So now you have feelings of unworthiness. You start feeling, kwani I'm not a human being. The way you are explaining
it, Roberta, makes it sound really terrible.
But that's how we feel.
Really?
Yeah, that's how we feel. So now we're saying, instead of me going through, and not just that, watch hata kuna hiyo emotional ya, una feel neglected emotionally. After that, ukienda home iko hit. He nurtured in you. Now you have to take the pills. Those pills, they mess you up. Your hormones, you have headaches, you have cramps, you're sad, you're angry, you're hurt, you're emotional. On top of that, it affects your periods. It affects it just messes you up completely.
He doesn't even ask if you reached home, if you arrived.
You can't even call him. You can't even call him to tell him, I'm feeling emotional. He won't understand because hayuko hapo for emotions. Yako hapo mechi. Wewe unaanza kumpigia mambo za emotions. Unamstress. Na alishakwambia, this is casual. This is a situationship. Why are you calling me now? He'll call you next Wednesday when he misses you again.
You make men look horrible. You make men look horrible, man.
You guys know there's some truth to it, right?
There is. I think we're just so detached from it.
Exactly. And that's the thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say, even if you're having casual sex, sawa, to decide, tuseme, nataka kudishiana, wazi. But how can you have maximum satisfaction with some... Let me flip it. Maybe when I flip it, you guys will understand. Udem. Meet jana. Umempeleka kejani mmedishiana. Atoke aende. Akukall next Saturday tena akwambie, buda hiyo burungo. Iweza. Hiyo burungo yako. Hiyo mechi. Akukall tena. Before akukall uone Instagram alikuwa out na watu wengine, alikuwa na maboy. Umuone ako harvest. Umuone ako tribe amekana. Unajua bili ya harvest. Unajua bili ya
alafu kuna mtu anapiga simu na yeye.
Alafu kesho anakukall. Anakuambia, Jagero, nimekumiss. Sijakuona tangu last week. Wewe kama you're a very secure person, will you just be like, kuja kejani niko mtaani?
Shit.
You don't know where she was.
Emotional intelligence, Bobbie, in relationship. I often don't understand it very clearly, and I think that the audience could probably want to hear about it, because we've talked about it, that these are some of the things that you're telling your clients who are in relationships. What do you mean by this?
So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and regulate your emotions. Which means basically ni kujijua na kujibonga. Ukiweza kujijua na kujielewa na kucommunicate feelings, uko emotionally intelligent. Because most people lack emotional intelligence because of how we grew up. We're not accorded the space to be emotional. And that's how most men grow up, especially. As women, we might miss it from our parents, but we'll definitely get it in our friendships as we are growing up. But men, there's no space where they are told, kababa, hebu kuja hapa tuongee venye feelings zako zimekuwa hurt. Nobody really accords men that space. And I attribute it to patriarchy, because patriarchy is what says men are strong and men don't have emotions and your job is to pay for things. But us women are saying, okay, now even us, we can pay. So now, that's why you men are being forced to be emotionally intelligent. And you said you don't get it, but let me explain. In essence, we're just saying, be the kind of man who knows his feelings. You know your feelings, you're able to acknowledge them. You're able to say, Bobbie, today I feel sad. And you did it today. When I walked in, you told me, Roberta, I'm very stressed, I'm very sad. That's a sign of emotional intelligence. You didn't even think about it. Why? Because it's something that just comes out. It's natural. It's normal. Do you know what other men would have done? Somebody who's not emotionally intelligent. Angekatuka yo kiti afure the whole day. Amefura ako moody. Hataki kusema. Unakuza, Jagero, what's wrong? You know? But someone who's intelligent is able to just say, my camera did... Calling Macau. It's something as simple as that. Someone who's intelligent will just be able to say, hey, manze, I'm sad. This has happened to me. Na unaona hatujadwell hapo. You're probably still sad about the camera, but we've been able to move and do other things, talk about other things. It hasn't stagnated you. Someone who's not intelligent dwells, sticks there. It ruins their whole day. They maybe angekuwa rude to me. Ama angefunga ofisi aseme, fuck this shit. Camera imeharibika, close everything. I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
You see, so it's just about that. It's as simple as that. Being the kind of man who can communicate his emotions, who can feel his feelings, who can regulate his emotions and say, my love, I had a hard day today, but I really, really love you. But I just need space. Tonight, I don't want to talk. I don't want anything. Let me just go in the room and just
chill.
You know, me as your woman, I feel so involved. I feel, wow, okay, how can I make now his night easier? What does he like? His favorite meal? Ready. Nini nimepanga, nimeandaa kila kitu. By the time he's coming out of his funk and his space, he feels very taken care of. He's able to be soft with me. Then he can go be hard outside there in the world. But when he's with me, he's relaxed and well taken care of. So that's what emotional intelligence is about. It's about acknowledging good feelings, not just the sad feelings, even the happy ones. Being able to say, I'm happy, I feel good, I love you, I care about you. All that is emotional intelligence, as opposed to suppressing it and hiding it within. Yeah.
Okay. And then we also talked about fear of moving on after heartbreak.
Yeah.
The other day I was just counting friends that were married and are no longer with their loved ones. Like, I know 10 now.
Zakiro, you have so many friends.
Yeah.
How come?
I've got so many friends. I believe because...
Are they friends or just acquaintances, people you know? Or people
that
you
we
have
grown up with, we have been in projects together. You know, for example, the last year has given me a few friends, people that come. You know, I've known you in the last 1 year.
About 2 now.
No.
Almost.
No.
Time in a songa.
Bobbie, I knew you like mid last year.
Mid last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this podcast has given me a bit of friends.
Yeah.
You know, and then there are people in my circle that we used to do poetry with. There's a very huge circle there. Then friends of my wife and all those other people. And then production issues. Like now, Ambia Jani, you know, I've known so many people.
Yeah.
Because of the kind of work that I do. And even online, because I've been very vocal online. And people reach out to me. Lots of people reach out to me and we develop sometimes even digital friendship. You know. So what was I saying? What was
we were talking about friendship.
Yes. And a lot of, like, 7 marriages have broken up. Yeah. And some are in the rocks. You know? So talk to me about heartbreaks and the fear of,
Moving on.
Yeah, there's a very close family member of mine that I thought should have left that marriage a long time ago. But they didn't.
Yuko tubado.
Alitoka, but you see, it took a lot for them to realize that this hapa si palipema. I
think this would be the perfect time to talk about attachment styles and how it reflects in relationships. An attachment style is the way that you attach to your primary caregiver. And to explain this in simple terms is vile unaanza kupenda ule mtu mwenye ako closest to you kutoka utotoni. So this shows up in the way our parents treated us, in the way our parents were. You know, some people, before they become parents, they don't really think about the mental and emotional implications that parenthood comes with. Because for you to be a good parent, you have to be a secure person. The same way for you to be in good friendships, in a good job, in a good relationship, you have to be a secure person so that all these relationships can work out. Some people are born into families where mommy is never around because she's always working. daddy is also never around because he's always working. So this kid doesn't really attach emotionally to their parents. Anajuanga tu wazazi wangu ukua, lakini hawaonangi, hakuna bond. And yes, the parent could be very present financially, takes care of you completely, pays for everything. You go to the best schools, you eat the best food, but there's no emotional connection between you and your parent. So what this does is that, a series of experiments were done amongst kids with different types of parents, different types of attachment styles. And you can see how, as a grown-up, it impacts your life. If you are a kid who the parents were never available emotionally, you also become an adult who is never emotionally available. Because that's your template for relationships. That's all you know. That's what you've always known. If mommy and daddy are never available, you don't really ever require anyone else to be available to you. And these people, when they grow up, they become those kind of grown-ups where unashanga jagero ashikangi simu, hakujangi bashi yoyote, hatuongeleshangi, na jagero mali yuko ako very okay. Yeah, hata yuko bothered, afikiri, oh my God, I missed Bobbie's birthday. Oh my God, I didn't text her. I haven't called her back. Because this is what's normal to you. You're very self-sufficient. You're independent. And these are people who are avoidant. So kuna avoidant, anxious, na secure. Let me talk about the avoidant people. The people who attach avoidantly are very independent. And most times they think they are secure. They think, I'm good on my own. I can do everything by myself. They find other things to substitute their need for relationships. You can find someone he's very good at work. Hata yendo boss. Lakini relationship zake, 0. No friends, no lovers. Most of these people tend to have a lot of sexual partners because they do not need to attach to you to have sex with you. Anaweza kuokota hapo aende na wewe home akudishi na kesho. Ushangai, why isn't he calling me? Because he doesn't call anyone. It's not just you. He just doesn't talk to anyone, even though yuko. Na ye kwake ni normal. Alafu kuna secure. So the secure is the people who, their parents are very secure as well. Very present, wholesomely. Their parents talked to them, allowed them to show emotions, whether negative or positive emotions. These are the kind of kids who grew up in spaces where they could tell their parents how they feel. They can openly talk to their caregivers. They can say what they feel. Even a small young boy can say, Mommy, I'm sad, and he can cry. And the mother won't be, you're a man. Grow up. Men don't cry. No. There is space for that little boy to come home and cry and be sad. And what that does is this person grows up to be a very secure person in relationships. They can communicate their emotions, tell you how they feel. They can name their emotions. They can say, I'm sad, I'm happy, I feel good, I want this. And they don't care that you think it's weak or, a lot of this, something I think that perpetuates unavailability in men is a lot of toxic masculinity. These people who teach you to stop being emotional, they make you feel like negative emotions are bad. Like, as a man, they start topics with, as a man, you're not, But that person has never been a man in their life. Never. He could be of the male gender, but you see, our definitions of men are very different. Like me, I cannot start telling a man how to be a man. Men should be. I've never been a man. But I can tell you the kind of men I like.
Yeah.
I can tell you, to me, a man is someone who's respectful, he's kind, he's confident, he's generally a very nice person. Not just somebody who has money, somebody who's grown in all aspects of life. And these are secure people. That's why when you asked me, can I date someone who's not as financially where I am at, you see now where it comes in. Because this man I'm looking for him to have patience, integrity, he has to have gone through some things in life. And you could easily date a very rich man who has no morals, no maturity, has nothing. Yani hana depth, hana empathy, hana anything, lakini akona pesa, hana kufanyia kila kitu. There's women who are okay with that. And there's women who say, now that's a man. But for me, my definition is very different. I need someone who's complete wholesomely. Not that he complete, let me say someone who's consistently willing to learn, willing to grow, willing to do better. So that's a secure person. An anxiously attached person are the people who are abandoned, just like the avoidants. They're abandoned in some aspects in their lives. And so they become more clingy. They want... uko wapi? Unafanya nini? Unakuja leo? Haujaniambia unaenda wapi? Mbona umelike picha wewe dem? Mbona umemcall? Niliona ukisalimia msichana. Mbona ulimpea lift? Mbona you see, someone who's clingy, like they lack the attention and the love. So when they get one person who just shows them attention, all the security goes out the door. They breathe and leave you. And you see, that's very toxic in a relationship because you're supposed to be secure. You're supposed to be okay with Jagero. If he tells me he's going out for lunch with Roberta, that's what it is. If it's just lunch, it's lunch. If anything else comes up, we'll deal with it there. But imagine you tell your wife you're going to lunch with me and she's calling you every 3 seconds.
We have a friend like that. When we go playing, one of our friends,
Kila saa. That's not healthy. It's not healthy.
And he tells us, shh.
Yeah. But so you see, even this guy, wherever he goes now, he has anxiety. Who might see me? Who might take a picture of me? What if she see? You know, it's toxic. In a relationship, you're supposed to be secure. If I break the trust, then cool. If I told you I'm going to lunch with Jagero, I'm going to lunch with Jagero. If anything else comes after that and you find out, then you're not going, a secure person will not start begging, why were you with him? Mm-hmm. You messed up the relationship. Now you have to deal with the consequences. A secure person will also not ignore you and avoid you and give you the cold shoulder, silent treatment, avoiding discussing. You know, avoidants, they love avoiding conflict. They avoid everything. They avoid emotions, conflict. So even if you fight, they don't want to discuss the fight. They'll just ignore you until it dies off. Then when they feel like they need you, they come back. That's toxic. Anxious people need to discuss the issue now. Now. We talk about it now, here, in front of everyone. I don't care if your mother is here. We fight now. You see, someone who's secure is able to say, this is not the place to have this argument, or I'm still very angry. I don't want to say mean things, or I don't want the argument to get heated. Can you give me 15 minutes, please? I go and breathe and come back so that we can talk to each other with love and respect. An avoidant will just ignore you. So you see, these things show up in our relationships. These are the dynamics in marriages right now, in relationships. People don't know they're disorganized. They don't know they are anxious. They think it's normal because this is their template for relationships. So inafanya wale wenye wako abused wanabaki kwa relationships. Wale wanafight kila siku wanabaki. Watu wengine unfortunately wanauana kwa relationships. Conflict is never really resolved. And people keep staying. So that's what makes leaving and moving on from relationships very difficult. You could think you're secure, but how come you're not leaving that man who's been cheating on you for 20 years? And do you think about how it impacts your children? Because your children grow up seeing daddy has been cheating on mom all her life. Meaning, if a man cheats on me, it's cool. That's what's normal in relationships. So even when people are wondering, why isn't Bobbie leaving? She just stays and this man beats her black and blue. It's because I saw my mom get beaten up. And it's been normal for me all our lives. So why would I leave my man? It's just a small beating. I can stay. You see? But people who are secure, they're able to say, I slapped you last time. I cannot put you through this. I cannot do this. They will apologize and they will go and try to work on themselves instead of staying in toxic relationships. That's how your attachment styles seeps into the kind of relationships you have with other people and other things when you grow up. And it also affects the way you are in relationships, including the breakup, the moving on, the leaving someone. Someone who is secure has a certain set of standards that they've upheld for themselves. And it's not just for the other person, it's for themselves. An example is, for me, I can't date someone who's not financially secure, for example. And I keep saying, it has nothing to do... Yes, of course, it's about money, but I'm not looking at the money. I'm looking at someone who has their own money can take care of themselves. He can take care of the things he needs. He knows how to make money. He knows he knows how to deal with loss. He knows how to deal with the days where hakuna pesa. And he also knows how to deal with saa zile kuna pesa mingi. So it's about all those emotional specificities that come into the relationship. So because I've held these standards for myself, it also means me as a person, siwezi kuwa broke. Siwezi kuwa broke, na asema, I want a rich man. You get? It starts from me. It starts from me having to become this Roberta.
Uwe na chako.
Yes. I have to be the Roberta that this man wants. Because this man, he doesn't want just anybody also. If he has that kind of discipline, he needs a lover who has discipline as well. Those are things he's going to be looking out for. A secure man who takes care of himself and cares about emotional availability will not date a girl who doesn't communicate her emotions. He'll not date a woman who wastes money. Because he knows what it takes. He knows what he wants. Now, those are his standards. That's why I'm always telling also men, when I talk about standards, I don't just talk about women. I talk about men. You as a man have to have your own standards. Usilale tu na kila kitu, kila mtu, ujui nini imefanyika, ujui ametoka wapi, because it shows that the kind of person you are. It's just, you're accepting that because you are exactly like that. If you keep saying things like, women are loose, why? How do you know about loose women? Because you're a loose man and you hang around loose women. So you guys are the same. Mimi, even when men say things like, men are dogs, men are horrible, I don't really hang around horrible men a lot. I don't hang around men who are irresponsible. The kind of men in my life, my friends, the men I date, the men I interact with, they are very, very nice people. Very grown, very responsible, kind, generous. You got me gifts, and it's your birthday. Are you seeing the kind of caliber of men I hang around? And maybe, that's a good example, yeah? Because maybe you didn't think about it. Maybe you didn't think, let me go and show Roberta what kind of man I am. Mm-hmm. It just comes naturally. Why? Maybe you enjoy our friendship. Maybe you love the way I talk to you. Maybe you respect me. Whatever the reason is, hata kama ni fake, umeifanya, si ndio? So those are the kind of men I hang around. Everywhere. Everywhere I go, my friends. Even the watchman where I live. So it's not about him being rich.
Create your community.
Yes. And I say this a lot. I've said this before here. And it starts with me. It's because of the kind of woman I am. I know men treat me like that because of who I am. If I were a different woman, maybe if I dressed differently, if I smelled differently, if I looked differently, maybe they'd treat me a different way. But because I'm very intentional about who I am, I'm very intentional about what I look like, how I speak, how I show up. Those are the kind of men I attract. I attract kind, respectful, generous. Mi hata hizo conversations za pesa hata sizisikiangi. Nazisikianga nikikuja huku kwa kuulizwa maswali. Because I've never hung around a man who asked me, what do you bring to the table? What are you going to pay for? That never really happens to me. I can't remember the last time I saw a bill. Actually, I looked at a bill like this. It's not because I don't have my own money. And I said this before also on this podcast. It's because the men I date, they just don't let me pay. And I never ask. I never say, Jagero, you're the one who's paying. Jagero will complain, but he'll just pay at the end of the day, you know? Am I lying or am I being honest? It's because my essence as a woman, my femininity.
Women on on TikTok said, "Ai, kwani sisi tulizaliwa wapi?"
You saw the comments?
Yeah, walisema sisi, sisi kwani tulizaliwa wapi?
It's because of the men they hung around. Or
really?
Not just that, it's because of the kind of women they are also. When you bring in the aspect of money, it complicates things. This is not about money. It's about how you present yourself. If a man likes you, he will spoil you. You don't have to ask. And this is not even in a romantic relationship. And it doesn't matter hata kama wewe mwanaume hajakula siku 3. He will do whatever he can in his will. And how many men have you had taking loans to take their women out to lunch? We laugh about it, but it's something men do, yeah? Mara ngapi mwanaume ameomba keja, ameomba gari, ndo abambe demana like. It's all biology. It's all psychology. Even birds, what are they? The peacocks, when they're trying to bamba the girl, they sing songs and they do their tail like this. Other birds build nests for the female. All sorts of animals have ways of appeasing their mates. They have they call it the mating call, the mating dance. It's something that's very natural. When a man likes you, he will just want to do it. You don't even have to ask him. You don't have to tell him, I like flowers. He knows. In fact, ashaeka kwa calendar na alishalipa subscription ya the whole month.
Kuna watu wanalipa subscription ya maua.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Me, I receive fresh flowers every week. My house always has fresh flowers. Every week. And I don't ask.
Hebu, tell me about it. Where are they coming from? From the government?
They're coming from a very amazing gentleman who I don't know if I'm in love with him, but...
Shit.
But I really, really like him. And the more he treats me like that, the more he shows me he's interested in caring for me. Even me, I get him things. I send things his way. So it's about the care, the empathy, he allows me
you
to
have
be
a man
woman.
that has a standing order for flowers. Standing order.
Yes. He doesn't even, let me tell you, he doesn't even talk to me. He doesn't have to talk to me and call me and tell me, Bobbie, I'm sending flowers. You know who calls me? The rider when he's downstairs. And it's always a surprise. I literally never see it coming. It could be a random Wednesday, a random Sunday. Hi, Roberta, I'm from calling you about your delivery. Yes, I'm in the house, come.
And you know it's about flowers.
And my flowers show up.
And chocolates.
Always.
I
just have a problem because I don't like the chocolates they bring, but I love the gesture. I love that he sits and thinks about me. I love that he remembers I exist.
What does he want from you?
What do men want from women?
In your estimation.
I think he enjoys.
He wants to be in a relationship with you. He wants to marry you.
I don't know.
Would you marry him?
I feel like I would. Yeah. Because he's been very consistent in his providence for me. He's very reliable, very kind, and you see, this is someone who struggles with showing up emotionally. Yeah. But for me, he does it. I don't ask him, hey, send me flowers. He has disclosed to me, okay, I'm airing him, but let me just talk about it so I can show a real-time example. Yeah. This man is very avoidant. He's not available emotionally. He doesn't tell me I love you, he'll tell me I miss you once a month, you know? But because of his consistency, I know. Every day when I wake up, the flowers are there. They tell me what he feels. I see it. I feel it. My whole house smells so good because of those flowers. They're beautiful in my home. So even if he doesn't call me today, I know. I see the flowers all the time. I know.
Oh,
So you see, it's about, and this man has taught me how to be secure, because I think him being very avoidant made me clingy, because I was wondering, why don't you call me? Why don't you talk to me? Why don't you take me out? Why don't you? But I'm starting to understand.
I would suggest to you that this is the prime time to get married.
You think so?
Yeah, 28, going to 30.
Well, I'm not in a hurry, because
you should, yeah.
I never really thought I'd ever want to get married, actually. This is just a decision I made a few months ago.
But the last time we spoke, you were like, I think I should.
And I think I was talking about him as well, the same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's the one who's brought me into this space where I'm starting to feel like love is not about ownership. It's not about I own you. Everything about you is mine. It's about I love you through whatever. I love you when you're sad. I love you when you're angry. I love you when you're broke. I love you even when you're not talking to me.
Great.
Yeah.
Tell me about, as we come to the end of this episode, this discussion, please tell me about the things that you do, how people can reach you.
Okay.
Yeah. What are your services?
So I'm Roberta Bobbie.
Yeah.
I'm a writer. I talk about primarily sex, relationships, intimacy, and I'm a coach for the same. So I take in one-on-one clients where I'm able to have these discussions with people just to help them understand better about their intimacy and their relationships. Mostly it's about the individual even before we get into relationships. So it's some sort of therapy where you get to know more about yourself. You get to understand more about why you are the way you are and why you show up like that in relationships. So then after there, you're able to grow in your relationships, whatever relationship, with your mom, with your brother, with your sister, with your colleagues. And yeah, so that's what we do. We talk about relationships and intimacy. And I also do workshops. I also do bachelorette parties. I also do anywhere where you feel like you want me to come and speak, even in your living room. I will do it.
How do they contact you?
I will do it. So how you reach me is, first off, I have a podcast and a blog where I share all this information for absolutely free. And I'm always on Jagero's podcast also. So loveandorgasms.com. And then how you reach me is loveandorgasms@gmail.com or Roberta Bobbie everywhere on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, TikTok, everywhere, Roberta Bobbie. Drop me a DM, drop me an email, a message. I'm very available. And I'm also very emotionally available. Talk to me. Let's talk about relationships and sex. You can ask me any sorts of questions. I'm there for you.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure having you on my podcast.
Thank you.
And I wish you could get married soon. So that we see
You'll get the first invite.
So that we see if that man is going to be having that standing order in marriage. Thank you very much, people of the internet. My name is Udur Jagero, and that was myself, Bobbie and I.
Yeah.
Okay. I would ask you that you subscribe to the channel. I see a lot of people who are coming around and watching my videos, but they do not subscribe. Okay, one of the things that has happened to my channel is because there are a lot of people that I would like to bring into this channel, and you subscribing and us having that number is going to add to that social proof. Sindio? You know, so please consider subscribing, hit on that notification bell so that when we have another episode, you can always be notified about it. Again, please consider subscribing so that I can have those numbers. Those numbers play a very good role. If you're touched with this podcast and you want to send me money, please do.
Please send him money.
Yeah. If you want to buy me something for production like a camera, please do. If you want to buy me a microphone, please do. If you want to pay one of my editors, please do. You know, I would be so thankful, you know, and until another episode. And also, if you want to speak on this podcast, you can always reach out to me and we can have a discussion. Thank you very much. And until another episode, bye for now.